The core movements used in gentle movement are all adapted from an ancient Chinese practice called Chi Gung. All the movements chosen use slow, smooth cycles of motion that are combined with controlled breathing. This combination of movement and breathing promotes improved physical and mental well-being and helps you to get in tune with how your body moves and feels. To get the most out of gentle movement, it is important to try to follow the breathing prompts that go alongside the movements. Don't worry if you can't get it at first, it takes a little practice. Now we are going to do the core movement called Chi Shower, and this basically involves you scanning your body with your hands, and it does also involve some bending of your knees. Okay, let's get started. First of all, we have our hands placed in front of us like that, hovering in front of our body, and then we're simply going to move them up to the back of our head, to the side, and down. And then we're going to swoop our arms to the inside of our legs, working our way back up to starting point. Let's try that again and make it a bit more fluid. Okay, and if we incorporate the breath, we're going to breathe in as we take it up, and breathe out as we go back down. And one more of these. Okay, that's Chi Shower. Let's move on to our next core movement. This core movement is called butterfly hands, and all we are doing is making big circles with our arms. Okay, let's get started. First of all, we're going to have our hands and our wrists in front of us, crossing one wrist on top of the other. I've got my right on top of my left here. Then all we're doing is bringing our wrists up and then simply spreading our arms out as we take them back down. And as we bring our wrists back together, we want to swap wrists. So now my left is on top of my right. Take it up and then spread it back down. Crossing wrists again. And to incorporate the breath, we're going to breathe in as we take our arms up and breathe out as we stretch them and take them back down. Breathing in and breathing out. And one more. Okay, that's butterfly hands. Let's move on to our next core movement. This core movement is called Heaven and Earth, and it involves making circular motions using your wrists towards your body. There are 3 levels, low, medium and high. I'm going to do all of the options, but you just do the level that suits you best. Okay, let's get started. And your hands in front of you like so. Your hands should be hanging off the ends of your wrists, just like a puppet, and they should be about hip level. First of all, we're just going to make small circles towards our body, leading with our wrists, just like a puppet. And to incorporate our breathing, we're breathing in as we take our wrists up and towards our body, and we're breathing out as we move our hands back down. Now this is the low option. If you feel able, you can move on to the medium option. And there you're going to make even bigger circles. Your wrists going right up to your rib cage. Again, following the same breathing pattern. Breathing in and then breathing out. Now you can keep going at this level, but I'm going to move to the higher level. And here I'm going to take my wrist up to my shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out. It's very important to listen to your body throughout this exercise and never cause your arms too much pain or strain. And one more at the level you're at. And back to center. Okay, that's Heaven and Earth. Let's move on to our next core movement. This core movement is called Wind and Water, and it involves moving your arms outwards and inwards. There are 3 different levels, low, medium and high, and I advise you just to do what level you're most comfortable with. I'll be doing all the levels. Okay, let's get started. First of all, place your hands in front of you like so, have your feet hip width apart, and imagine that you are holding a ball. Now I want you to close your eyes and try and imagine or sense any feelings or sensations you have between your hands and fingertips. This might be a tingle sensation, it might be warmth, it might be nothing at all. And when you're ready, I want you to move your arms outwards, expanding your ball, and then move your arms back in. As you move your arms out, I want you to breathe in. And as you take them back in, I want you to breathe out. Try and focus on any sensation you feel between your hands and fingers. And focus on contracting and expanding the energy ball. Okay, if you're comfortable and you want to push yourself, you can move your hands up slightly to ribcage level, and we're going to make some more movements here. If you want to keep your hands at hip level, then that's absolutely fine too. Okay, we're going to move our arms outwards as we breathe in. And then as we move our arms back in, we're going to breathe out. Noting any sensation between your hands and fingers. You might notice that your arms are working that extra bit harder, getting a wee bit warmer, but that's completely normal. If you can, we're going to move our hands up just above our shoulders. If this is too much, if this causes you any pain or strain, simply keep your arms at shoulder levels or at hip level. Okay, let's move our arms out. Breathing in and then back in. Breathing out. Again, try and notice any sensations you have between your hands. And one more of these. And back to center. Okay, that's wind and water. Let's move on to our next core movement. This move is called opening and closing the gates. Now this move does require some balance. So if you can get a chair beside you for some support, or if you really struggle with your balance, then maybe just leave this one out. Okay, let's get started. We're going to have our feet hip width apart, and we're simply going to lean from side to side. As we lean to the left side, we bend our left knee. As we lean to the right, we bend our right knee. Okay. Next time we lean to our left, I want us to lift up our right foot so that our heel is touching the ground and our toes are pointing up and outwards. Then, as we lean to the right, it's the same with the other foot. We're going to have our left heel on the ground and our left toes pointing upwards. And if you can, try and make this a fluid movement. With your breathing, I want you to keep it regular. It's just breathing in and breathing out. To make this a whole body movement, you can involve your arms, swaying them from side to side. This is opening the energy gates. And a couple more of these. Okay. And back to center, back to our initial swaying from side to side. But for closing the gates, it's nearly the same movement, but actually the opposite movement with your feet. So the next time we sway to the left, I want us to lift our right foot so that now our toes are touching the ground and our heel is off the ground. So we've inverted our right foot. And then as we lean to our right, we're going to invert our left foot. So our left toes are on the ground and our left heel is off the ground. And again, try and make this closing the gates movement fluid. And if you want to involve your whole body, allow your arms to sway from side to side. And with your breathing, breathe in and breathe out. And a couple more of these. And back to center. Okay, that's opening and closing the gates. Let's go on to our next core movement. This core movement is called the yin and yang, and it involves stretching our arms around our body inwards and outwards using the breath. Okay, let's start with yin. We're going to take our arms out and up like this, and then simply down and together like so. So making a huge circle with our hands and our arms. Stretching out. And bringing our hands back together and taking them down. Now with the breath, we're breathing in as we take our arms up and breathing out as we take it back down. Breathing in, opening our chest and breathing out, taking it back down. And one more. Great. Now we're going to do the yang, which is the opposite movement. So we're going to start with our hands together, taking them up in front of our body, right on top of our head, and then spreading our arms out as we take them back down. And with our breathing, we're going to breathe in as we take our arms up and breathe out as we spread our arms out and down. And one more. Okay, that's the yin and yang, and that's the last of our core movements. Now we're going to do a bit of relaxation.